Tonight on KPVI News at 10, things are getting crowded on local buses. Plus, we take a look at another Pocatello City Council candidate. Also, details on where you can go if you're in the market for a job.
You're watching KPVI News at 10. News that works for you.
Good evening. Thanks for watching tonight. I'm Matt Davenport.
And I'm Marlise Irby. Parents from School District 25 took to social media to raise concerns about overcrowding on school buses.
KPVI News that works for you journalist Kate Gardner tells us about school bus regulations.
A student from District 25 took this video on the way to school.
They complained about it, and I didn't want to raise the alarm. I just, wanted to kind of take my time with it and look into the issue. And yeah, it is concerning. I mean, it only takes one accident.
Bringhurst has 6 kids in the school district, and after they began to complain about the bus being crowded, he asked other parents on Facebook if they had also noticed this problem. Many had. The district assures parents that their children's safety is important.
We have 6,500 students that are signed up for transportation services. 4,200 of those students typically ride the bus. So you have a ridership of 8,400 students per day. And by and large, we are getting those students on time to school as safe as possible, which is our priority.
The National Highway Safety Administration says there is no federal regulation that specifies the number of riders allowed on a bus, but rather that manufacturers set the maximum capacity. For the average bus, that's just under 80 students. The video that circulated on social media showing students sitting on the floor of a school bus has been investigated by the school district. They say they looked into that bus route and it is well below the legal limit of student riders. When manufacturers set the maximum capacity, they usually calculate a ratio of 3 elementary school children per seat. For older kids, that is not a comfortable ride. And for that reason, the district tries to cap their ridership at just under 60 students.
We could put 78 students on those buses if we needed to, but we try to keep, those routes as safe and comfortable as possible.
And for parents across the district, that's what they want for their kids.
So I'm glad the district is addressing it, and I hope it does get changed. So.
In Pocatello, Kate Garner, KPVI News that works for you.
The district says there's always adjustments that need to be made to bus routes during the first month of the school year. One high school route had 71 student passengers, but has now been adjusted and has 50.
The weather is certainly fall-like now and is expected to feel more like fall overnight.
Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Iverson. Doug.
Yes, it is getting cold out there. Now that the skies have cleared out and the wind has died down, a lot of us already in the 40s. To start off your Tuesday evening, we're at 49 degrees currently at Pocatello. Still trying to hold on to those 50s, and I think American Falls doing a pretty good job at that. They're the warm spot on this map at 56 degrees. Saw those 30s over in western Wyoming, Yellowstone right now, 37. Stanley, not too bad, 48 degrees. They have a storm and some clouds will increase in that area tonight, a little bit of a blanket there. And down Malad City, they're at 48. Montpelier already in the lower 40s. We'll take a look at where we're going to end up tonight and what you can expect for tomorrow coming up.
All right, thank you very much, Doug. Well, the question of whether or not to recall 4 Bannock County officials will not be on the ballot in November. The Pocatello Bannock County Homeowners Alliance has been circulating a petition since July to recall all 3 Bannock County commissioners and the county assessor, Sherry Davies. Yesterday marked the deadline to turn in the petition for Davies to the Bannock County Elections Office, and the group still needed over 9,000 signatures. But the Homeowners Alliance calls it a strategic decision because they expect voter turnout to be low in November. Now, they plan on putting all 4 recalls on the March ballot. The group needs the same number of signatures by October 2nd for the Davies petition and October 7th for the commissioners.
Today we continue our talks with local candidates running for Pocatello City Council. The Seat 2 candidate, Colton Peterson, KPVI News that works for you, journalist Deanne Coffin, tells us his goal of bringing the community together.
Good boy.
Colton Peterson is running for Seat 2 on the Pocatello City Council. He says he's running because he's concerned for the citizens of Pocatello.
I want to bring the community and the police closer together to, to fight the crime. And I figure if you have a good balance of good relationship between community and law enforcement, more people might start saying something and we might be able to get a handle on this.
Colton has this thin blue line flag flying in his yard that he says represents his support for law enforcement.
Let's support our law enforcement, our first responders, our firefighters, our paramedics. You know, let's get them better equipment to do their jobs. Let's see if we can find a way to hire more police to help protect and serve our community.
For the last few years on the 4th of July, Colton says he's been taking cases of water to law enforcement and first responders. Colton doesn't feel like police are compensated nearly enough for putting their lives on the line every day.
And I think, you know, we might actually be able to get more officers in that if we could get them better raises, get them paid a little better. You know, I mean, we got to do more for them in order to keep the community safe.
A campaign fundraiser will be held for Colton Peterson this Saturday, September 21st. For more details, go to our website at kpvi.com.
Law enforcement in Idaho Falls is being better equipped to help fight child abuse. Building Hope Today, along with the Bonneville County Sheriff's Office, is hosting a 2-day training event for local law enforcement and victim care providers. Building Hope Today is an Idaho Falls-based nonprofit that helps prevent and reduce childhood sexual abuse. They've gathered a team of people to teach how to better hold offenders responsible and create community awareness. Some training sessions focus on the best practices when talking to a victim of child abuse.
It is really important that there is an understanding that there is a lot of training that goes behind forensic interviewing. It's not a conversation that you just go in and wing.
The training continues tomorrow for 30 different agencies attending.
Need employment? Idaho State University is hosting another job fair this week. It's this Thursday at the Student Union building from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's mostly geared towards business students, but it's open to anyone. And a second event starts at 6 p.m. for people focused on accounting. Some companies that will attend are KPMG, Deloitte, Cooper Norman, and ICCU.
One of the biggest challenges that we have is helping students find jobs, and we've done really well. We have 90% placement of our students within 2 months after they graduate.
ISU expects roughly 30 employers in total, which is an all-time high compared to last job fairs.
A real-life version of Memento. One day this teen is in a dance class, the next she's in the hospital. Her story is coming up, but first we'll send it back over to Doug Iverson.
And a look at the almanac today. We had measurable rain, nocturnal rainfall yesterday. Last night, early this morning, it rained while you were asleep, and boy, was it a lot cooler. Highs only in the 60s, no 80s today. And what about that wind we had last night? We'll talk about that in your forecast next.
You're watching KPVI News at 10 with Matt Davenport, Marlee Serby, and East Idaho's Chief Meteorologist Doug Iverson. KPVI News at 10. News that works for you. And now Storm Tracker weather with East Idaho's Chief Meteorologist Doug Iverson.
Before the rain last night, we had the wind, and oh my word, I don't know about your neighborhood, kind of looked like a war zone in mine. Tree branches all over the place. It was not a good night to be a trash can. Allow those laying around. Shouldn't have been laying around. They should have been upright. And no wonder we had things moved all over the place. A lot of wind. Roberts had a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust with the cold front that passed through last night. Tabor, a 50-mile-per-hour wind gust. Telegraph Hill along US 20 between Atomic City and Idaho Falls, 58. Pocatello, almost a 50-mile-per-hour wind gust. And, of course, the reason being a strong cold front. Didn't take any time to move on through East Idaho. It's already through central Wyoming. A lot of moisture for the northern end of that cold front. We got some of that. That's the rain that we had afterwards. We got clearing and a weaker system off towards the west. This weaker system will concentrate most of its moisture over the central mountains. So if you live in Chalice, Salmon, Stanley, Leadore, Mackay, Arco, you could see showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. I think most of this, though, will stay away from the Snake River Plain, at least stay out of the plain tomorrow. So we're in for a gorgeous looking day and a lot less wind. Amen to that. So tonight's forecast, 35 for low in Idle Falls, just staying above freezing. That's certainly colder than it was last night. It will be freezing in Island Park, and you better believe it's going to be freezing and then some in places like Yellowstone. Jackson, hard freeze there at 28. 27 will be the low temperature in Afton. Freezing in Soda Springs. Montpelier, 29, a little bit of a hard freeze there. 37 for a low temperature in Blackfoot. Pocatello will actually be 39, so almost 10 degrees cooler than it was last night. But because the clouds are on their way in with this next little storm system over the Central Mountains, most places should stay well above freezing, thankfully. Chalice, you're looking at a low of 40. Could be colder if you had a clear sky all night long. Mackey at 37. Arca will also see a low temperature at 37. Tomorrow's forecast, chance of showers and thunderstorms, a relatively cooler day for the Central Mountains than for the rest of us. For the rest of us, we're warmer than we were this afternoon. Pocatello, you'll hit up to about 76, so nice little jump in the temperatures. Idaho Falls 73, and a lot less wind out there. Emoji tracker, we got the shades on all morning long, all afternoon. We're still smiling in the evening with temperatures in the upper 60s to start off your Wednesday evening. Southeast Idaho Chevy dealer 7-day forecast. We warm up and we cool down. There we go on Thursday, back down to about 60. Chance of showers and thunderstorms, still 60 on Friday, but look at the weekend. Last weekend of summer, by the way, and for the last day on Sunday, we'll hit a high of 75. Idaho Falls 7-day forecast. We could see showers and thunderstorms Thursday and again on Friday. And then the weather will start to clear up. We'll warm up a little bit. 72 for your Sunday. Rexburg 7-day forecast. Chance of showers and thunderstorms Thursday. Temperatures will be cooler, so the 70s we have tomorrow, well, we won't get them again until the last day of summer, which is Sunday. Teton area 7-day forecast. Could see some showers and thunderstorms pop back in Thursday and Friday. Only 48 for a high on Friday. Ooh, could see snow maybe Friday night if the moisture lingers long enough. And for the Central Mountains, there's that potential storminess tomorrow. Then on Thursday, rain and thunderstorms likely with a chance of more of that on Friday. And then finally, we'll be treated to a decent weekend for the last one of the season. First day of fall. We fall a little bit temperature-wise, not bad, 66. A little warmer for day 2 of fall, high 73.
You know, you mentioned some of the results from that windstorm that we got, including the tipped over trash cans, power outages in through some areas. One thing you forgot to mention, all the dirt that was flying around yesterday.
Everywhere.
Walked out, I was like, yeah, I'm going to need some car washes here. Probably five or six of them.
This is the best car wash report today.
Because it got it just wet enough with a little bit of rain, and then
and that's
dirt
all
comes, sticks on it.
It was awful. It was awful.
Could be worse. Could be snow.
That's coming.
It is.
It will.
All right, thank you, Doug. Well, people here love to make me do accents, so this is my best Australian.
Okay, go for it.
It's not exactly like living like Crocodile Dundee, but it's pretty close.
It's not quite an Australian accent, but it's pretty close.
They should have given you that tease. Details on a new job opportunity coming up. It's a medical mystery others cannot forget, but the Illinois teenager who suffers from it cannot remember.
16-year-old Riley Horner's memory resets every 2 hours. It started happening after she was accidentally kicked in the head last June.
Bianca Reyes reports.
All right, if you remember, we took a virtual field trip.
On this day in history,
what did we gather from that?
16-year-old Riley Horner is getting a lesson in it.
No idea what he's talking about.
But there's one problem.
If I learned anything yesterday, it's completely gone, and I have to relearn that before I can even learn what we are doing today.
After losing her memory back in June, she now relies on her classmates to catch up.
I was asking Sully, what did we do? And then, like, when everyone was, like, saying stuff, I was, like, writing stuff down because I have no idea, like, what we are learning at all.
Riley even confused as to why we're sitting down with her today.
Well, Riley, do you remember who I am?
Not really.
She doesn't remember why we're here or what happened to her, but everyone else around her does.
They have pictures and screenshots of, like, where I've been, and I've been in People's Magazine and everything, and they show me that, and then I'm like, wow, like, I was in there?
Now, thousands of people across the world have shared Riley's story.
We're supposed to be going to do CNN tomorrow. Good Morning America.
Doctors aren't able to explain why her memory resets every 2 hours. Her family hoped if people heard her story, they might get closer to an answer.
It didn't stop, and it just kept coming and coming.
The messages come to their new Facebook page, Help Riley Remember.
And it's all over the United States, all over the world. And so I can't keep up. I'm sure I've missed stuff.
Each one offering ideas and hope.
We were pretty much told there's nothing else that we can do. And I didn't believe that. I didn't think that this was how her life was going to be.
It's a viral story she may never remember, but now it's etched in Riley's history.
The Horner family is considering a trip to a Utah treatment center. Cognitive FX deals with patients who suffer from a mild traumatic brain injury or post-concussion syndrome.
Snake hunters are needed in the Sunshine State. The South Florida Water Management District is looking for 50 people to join their python elimination program. Hey, Doug, we might have a job for you. Citizens who sign up are called python removal agents, and they're paid hourly. The program, which started in 2017, even offers more money for snakes that are longer than 4 feet or were guarding snake eggs. More than 2,500 pythons have been removed from the area over the past 2 years.
The FBI is asking the public for help catching a bank robbery suspect nicknamed Mummy Murderer. By looking at this picture, it's easy to understand how he got the name. The FBI, wow, okay. The FBI says he robbed a bank near Houston, Texas on Friday. His face was covered with white gauze while he also wore a wig and a baseball hat, and he fled in a Mitsubishi Montero. There's a $5,000 reward for information leading to his arrest.
We may be able to skip the apple. Doctors are staying away on their own just fine. Consumer news that works for you is next.
You're watching KPVI News at 10. News that works for you.
As America's population ages, a problem is brewing in hospitals and doctors' offices around the country.
Increased demand has resulted in a shortage of physicians, and it's only expected to get worse.
Kate Rogers explains.
Christopher Liu was drawn to medicine at a young age as a Mormon missionary.
I was here in the U.S. and was seeing a lot of elderly members of our congregations, and so a lot of them had multiple medical problems and would talk to us about them.
He was a chemistry major, but decided to use his science background to help people, changing paths to attend medical school.
What do you have for me?
Today, 29-year-old Liu is training to fill an important and growing physician shortage in America, which could be as many as 122,000 doctors short by 2032 in both primary and specialty care, according to the Association of American Medical Colleges. America's aging population, coupled with doctor retirements and a lack of available residency slots for those graduating medical school, are pressuring the system. Experts say team-based care, smarter technology deployment, and an increase in federal funding for residency programs would help to ease the shortage.
The challenge of having enough residency positions really comes down to having enough resources to support training at teaching hospitals across the country in communities big and small.
Liu is a first-year resident at the Abrazo Health Hospital System in Greater Phoenix, which recently added 2 new residency programs to attract physicians to train in the state. Liu says the best part of this phase of training is getting to help patients, including the older population that first inspired him.
The most rewarding part is talking to patients and just seeing them progress.
Arizona alone is short some 600 primary care doctors today, a number that will grow to nearly 2,000 in the next decade. By increasing the number of residency spots, the state hopes doctors will stay once their training is complete.
NBC Universal's direct-to-consumer streaming service now has a name. It'll be called Peacock. The new name was revealed this morning along with the initial content lineup when it launches in April of 2020. Peacock will have more than 15,000 hours of content, including original programs like the reboot of Battlestar Galactica, Dr. Death starring Alec Baldwin and Christian Slater, and a reboot of Saved by the Bell. It'll also have old favorites like The Office, Parks and Recreation, and 30 Rock. And HBO Max has secured exclusive domestic streaming rights to The Big Bang Theory. The 5-year deal is worth billions of dollars and will help bolster the launch of Warner Media's streaming service set to launch next year. The deal also extends the show's syndicated run on TBS through 2028. Big Bang ended its 12-season run in May.
Pizza Hut is introducing stuffed Cheez-It pizza. It's available nationwide for a limited time for $6.49. It includes 4 baked jumbo squares, a crust infused with the sharp cheddar flavor of Cheez-Its, and it's stuffed with cheese and pepperoni. Oh my gosh. Starting September the 24th, they will be added to the Pizza Hut for $5 lineup. And if you think that sounds good, wait until you hear that Colonel Sanders has been working on. That's next. Forget Chick-fil-A and Popeyes. KFC is taking the battle over chicken sandwiches to a new level.
The fast food giant announced it's testing a fried chicken sandwich with glazed donuts as the bun. I wonder where they got that idea, Outlaw Catering. Well, customers can also choose a chicken and donut basket meal with chicken tenders or bone-in chicken for $5.50. The sweet and savory combo is not available nationwide, but KFC is testing it in Norfolk and Richmond, Virginia, and in Pittsburgh. Why do they get to be so lucky?
Yeah, why do they have to go there? Test it out west. We know our chicken.
Yeah, we know our donut sandwiches, if anybody does. Hey, let's take a look at our